afternoon and welcome to today's episode. So today we're going to be recapping the Power Regulator board on the 3V16. We've got two capacitors left. We've got the large 220 microfarad 63 volt capacitor, of which I've got a selection here, which I'll just put there, and also the very large 3300 microfarad capacitor, which is here. So the first thing we're going to do is I've actually left the board in situ, but I've removed the three screws to make it a bit more flexible. I've also removed the red and green wire. I'll just tuck the connector next to this connector here so it doesn't move at all, and also the double white wire here, so I don't want to get those two mixed up. So the soldering iron should hopefully be nice and warm, and we're going to go in and start off with C12, which is the 220 one. So let's go in. There's one. And two. And it actually gives you the plus symbol there. So positive is this side. And you can actually see that because on this side, negative is towards the back of the machine. So one leg moves, the other one will once I persuade it with a little bit of heat. There we go. And there we go. And this one is the 63 volt 220 microfarad capacitor. So we will measure that in a minute and see if it's drastically out of value. Newer capacitors do seem to be, I'm not sure if you can see that there, but newer capacitors do seem to be a bit smaller than the old ones, as you can see there. Not drastically smaller, but things have obviously advanced, so individual components are a little bit smaller. Right, let's take one of these. If I can. There we go. Just need to unpeel the adhesive that sticks it to this little cardboard backing board. There we go. And negative toward the back of the machine, so we need to go in like so, positive toward the front of the machine, and through both of the holes, like so. There we go. And that's the one thing I forgot to bring in with me, was some solder. So let's go and fetch a bit of solder and we can get that soldered in. So ready with the solder. And there's a bit of a blob on this leg already, so I'm going to use some small snips which I've got. Chop off that blob. There we go. Right, in with the solder. And one blob. Two. There we go. And snip off the excess on the legs as close to the board as possible. There's one and two. And a quick inspection. Oh, there's a little bit there which is possibly crossing tracks. That's gone. That's just a bit of the resin. And there we go, looking good. So the next one is that really large capacitor down the bottom. I've got 5 of those actually, so I've got enough here to do the 3V22s if they use the same size capacitors. So there's the 3300 at 35 volts, Let's check if I can see the value of that one. That's 300 at 35 volts. That's good. So plus is this side, negative is towards the front of the machine. So negative leg towards the front. So let's see if we can get this out without disturbing the board too much. So we'll start with this positive leg here. That should go right in like so. Don't dwell too long on that. And pop. That's actually quite a big one, so a little bit again. There we go. So a little bit more. I think that's that. And now for the negative leg. A little bit more on the negative leg, I think. There we go. So I should be able, if I can, to reach the bottom of the machine, or the board, and see if I can wheel it free. And there it comes. That's actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. That is the 3300 microfarad 35 volt capacitor, and it's been replaced with this one. Both the same value, yet the newer one is drastically smaller than the old one. So remembering, positive is towards the back of the machine, so that's our longer leg here, negative toward the front of the machine. So let's get in there and see what we can do. Feeling this into place, I might need to get my head into a slightly different position here and see if I can actually see where I'm going. There's one leg and there's the other leg. There we go. So shorter leg is negative, longer leg is positive, so just fold those over gently like so to keep it in place. And we will dab a touch of solder onto the positive. It's not going on very well actually. What's going on with that? That's better. And the negative leg. There we go. It's all nicely in place. And off with the excess. And there we have it. A little scrape with a fingernail away the excess resin. And we have a capacitor that is sat on the board quite nicely. So we can plug back in our two connectors, and the connectors I removed were this one here, which is the white to white, and this which is the green and red. So you can see those there. And then we need to just put the 3 screws back into the board, put the board back into place. So let's pop the board up, check any connectors underneath because I've had the board out a bit, so make sure those are all pressed firmly in place, which they certainly appear to be. Get our board raised up into position, and a little bit of snag down the bottom, but not the end of the world, which is probably more at the top where it's snagging actually. There it is, there's a screw there which just needs to go up and over. That is there, so we just need to pop screws back in. Going back into place quite nicely. I'll get the hot soldering iron out of the way so you don't want to burn yourself. And that's back in place. Now what I want to do is get some power and measure the voltages across those particular boards. So we need a figure of 8. Which I've got here. Plug that in there, pop that into here. Machine's powered on. Pop it out of standby. So it's out of standby. And we just need to get the multimeter and also the service manual. So we're going to zoom out a little bit and we're going to take a look at the service manual because we need to measure some of these voltages. If you remember from the service manual, we are looking at section Section 5, electronic adjustments. So we need to check the 12 volt power supply first. No, sorry, check the 18 volt DC supply. So that's connector 64, which if you remember rightly, so connector 64 is there, which is there, I think. No, hang on a minute. 64, 18 volts there. That's our 18 volt rail. Move that out of the way even more. Over there. That's way too close to that power cable. Let's move it down onto the floor, out of the way of anything flammable. There it is. Ooh, multimeter. Direct voltage, direct current, earthing point on the chassis, there will do. We have, we've actually got 19 volts, that's better than before. So it should be 18 volts plus or minus 2 volts, so that's good. The 12 volt supply is measured from TP1, which is test point 1, which is, according to the board, there. So that should be 12 volts. We haven't touched the potentiometer on that one. It is measuring 12.08, and that has to be plus or minus 0.1 volts, so we're going to need to jack that rheostat down a little bit, sorry, that potentiometer down a little bit. So let's find suitable small enough flat blader. And we put that into there, which should hopefully stay there. There's our adjust there, which is, yep, there it is. Test point 1. So it is test point 1, which is there. we can hold those two together there, get the meter into view. Not sure if you guys can see that. Yes, you can, and hopefully I'll go into here. See how sensitive it is? That's just popping the screw in. Go back slowly. That's too high, that's going up. Go back. Oh, too far. There's that sort of sweet spot there. You just, if you go too far, you hit it. Oh, too far again, and ever so gentle of a touch now. 12.01, can I get it to 12? Ever such a 12. There we go. That is our desired DC output from test point 1 is 12 volts plus or minus 0.1 volts. So now we need to check the unregulated 46 volt DC supply, which is on connector 81, which is here. And that is reading, this was reading low last time, that's reading 45 volts, 45.1. That has to be plus or minus 0.1 volts. I don't think that's going to work for us. Still not getting the full 46 that we need. So it's bang on 45 at the moment. Anyway, let's get that out of the way. Next thing that I want to do is to get the back off so I can get to the servo board. And we're looking at a few of those. So I'm going to get the back board off and then we'll see where we are then. Right, so we've got the back board off, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our cluster of potentiometers over here and set them so that they all register 6 volts, which I don't think you get unless the machine's running. So that's 6 volts DC. Let's see what they measure as standard with no load on any of them. So there's nothing going on. They measure out at 0, which is expected. So we need to pop in a cassette. Hit play, which is there. And the reason why they're measuring nothing is because I hadn't actually turned the deck on. Let's try again. So I don't think they'll measure anything unless you've got the machine going. Yeah, nothing. So hit play. Right, there it goes. And let's check the voltages. That one's not giving us anything. That one, nothing. That one also nothing. Okay. Ah, that one, 2 volts. Why did you do that? What are you doing? Okay, you're playing. It's a bit odd. Okay. What's that one? That's 6.3, 6.7, 0. So you usually measure these when you're in the particular mode that you want to be in. So this one that I was measuring that was giving us 6 volts was on normal mode. That's actually 5 volts there at the minute. Speed is giving us actually at 6.7. If we knock that down a bit, so that's 7. Knock that one down to bang on 6. That's actually 8, 11. So that's 5.3. 5.3 still 5.3, 5.4, 5.9, 6.9. God, that goes up so quick. Six 6.7, 6.4. Gonna bring it down really slowly. 6.5, 6.3, 6.3, 6.6 still. Bring it back down ever so gently. 7, 6. 6.5. Actually, that's as low as that will go. So let's have a look at normal speed. Normal speed at the moment is measuring 5.6. It's actually a lot more than it's measuring than before. 5.5, 6. That's down to 4 again. Go up, up. It's still going down. 5.3. If I go all the way down, goes down to 4.9. Up to the top, 5.3. Slow, which we'll probably get nothing off of at the moment because it's not in slow mode, is 0 volts. What I'll do, I'll just go and fetch the remote control and set the voltages up in the relevant modes. So I've got it set on speed play, as you can see from there. And let's get that voltage to 6 volts, which if I check the service manual, I think is the correct figure. So we're looking at our electronic adjustments again. That's mechanical adjustments. Electronic adjustments is here. And electronic adjustments is that's our capstan sampling point. So speed, set the unit to fast play. Press that on top of a hot power supply, never a good idea, James. Set the unit to fast play. Speed position R109, speed position for 6 volts plus or minus 2 and a bit volts. So R109, which is R107, R109, which is this one. That's currently registering 6.9, so let's go into there. That's on 5.8, 5.9, 5.99, 6 volts, bang on. There we go. So that's that one. Set the unit to normal playback mode, which is that one. And R106 has got to be 6 volts plus or minus 0.2 volts. So that's R106. R106 at the moment is 2.55 on that pin, 5.4 on that pin, and 5.4 on that pin. So let's take it from that pin. It's 5.42 at the moment, which is higher than it has been. And let's see what happens. That's as high as it'll go. That's as low as it'll go. So that's as high as it'll go. And that is 5.4. Right. Let's hook it up to the TV and see what sort of picture we're getting. Because that is as high as I can go with that. So there is the possibility I've got a problem still on the servo board. So I've changed all the capacitors on the power distribution board, but let's see, because we're now getting much sturdier voltages from that regulator board. Also getting much better sound as well. Yeah, it's a bit warbly, but that's a lot better than it was. Let's go to... There is a test signal coming out of it. If we look at that, so let's go up there a bit. That's like a head sync thing at the moment, so down on the volume, and let's tweak that head position.
Can I persuade you to take a sandwich with you, sir? I'll get right through.
It's still a bit fast on the capstan speed. The head is not coming back at all, actually. Oh, hang on. Got something.
Counting on a winged avenger to deliver you.
Oh. Too slow. Bring the speed up. That's still too fast playback wise. Head speed is almost on. It's about there. Right, so I've got a picture. What we don't have is capstan sync, so let's go back over. down a bit. Too fast. Coming down normal playback. Coming down further. Very nearly there. So darn close. Now the sound's too low. Come up a little bit. Let's leave it there. That one's about right, actually. It's just the normal position. Too slow.
When we open that safe, we'll have everything we ever wanted. And the cash drained down upon Bear Gotham. A glorious flood of chaos. And of course, you, my boy, dead. Oh no! It's boiling acid!
Right, that's that. Right. What's the next one we could look at? Playback sampling points. 21. There it is. That's about as good as I can get the... I think, at the minute, that's as good as I can get it. Go on to mute. I'm not sure where else I could take this. I've replaced all of the capacitors on the regulated power board, and each time I've replaced them I've been getting better readings off of the board, except that 46 volt supply is still giving me only 45 volts. I've replaced every capacitor on the servo board, and I'm now at a point where I'm not really sure where else I can go with this. This video is actually going to be put up sooner than the other videos for this particular unit. So all of the capacitors on the servo board have been replaced because they were the purple Matsushita ones, which were apparently a bit dodgy. All of the capacitors have been replaced on a regulated power board. My 12 volt adjustment is spot on. My 45 volt is a little bit low by about a volt. It should be bang on, so it should actually be about 0.1 volts within tolerance, but it's not. So I'm not sure where to go with this. If anybody has any ideas, don't forget to feel free to let me know, rather. But I think I've come to the end of the road with this one, as I'm not sure where else I can go with it. Anyway, if you found this video interesting, don't forget to hit the like button, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, everything else, and see you soon. I've had a bit more of a play with normal position and speed servo positions, and this is about as steady as I can get it, which is about 1,000 times better than before. So I'm just manually adjusting the tracking control now. Yeah, there we go. It's not perfect, but it's a heck of a lot better than it was. I think if I can get it to this, it suggests to me that I've replaced the components that were causing us the problems, but I still think I've got some setup to do. Anyway, thanks for watching, see you next time.